Ladies and gents, welcome to another episode of I Need to Know Snacks.
I'm Art.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we have our great friend, Mr. Mario, with us. How are you doing, sir? I call him ladies.
Well.
I call him ladies' man, Art.
Why would you call him that?
Well, look at him. I mean,
No way.
Look at that
Thank
handsome.
you for having me.
Look at that handsome guy, man.
It's true.
Mario, you and I have known each other for a couple years now. I would say more than a couple years. I feel like we've been in every club together.
List the clubs.
Yeah. Well, we was at Bricks together.
21.
21.
Back in the day.
Padre.
Yes.
It was one other place. At least 4 spots for sure.
I believe so.
I can't believe so. I can't believe so. But I
Yeah.
can't think of the
I
other
heard a
one.
lot about this Club 21, but I never went to it.
Oh, what a time!
You know what?
What
When
a
it
time-
opened,
what a time
it
to
was,
be alive.
It was,
Yeah, it was a great. The thing I say about 21 is that's where everybody ended up on a Friday night.
You know, before we get started, as is customary with the show, we always have a little drink in our cups. Now, for those that don't know, we already pre-poured these.
Yeah.
But Snacks, you want to tell them what we're sipping on?
I have plush vodka in my cup here.
I mean, we all have the same thing.
same thing.
Oh, do it. I didn't know if you poured anything different.
That's fine. So we'll go ahead and
Yeah,
get a
cheers.
kind of a
Cheers.
cheers
Cheers
here
to
on
you.
the Plush Vodka.
Welcome to the
Pleasure.
show,
Shout out
Mr.
to
Mario.
Thank you so much.
Daily for the plush.
Yeah, appreciate you, Mr. Rich. Your first time tuned into this show. It's called I Need to Know. It's a fill in the blank show. You basically ask any question you want to, and we just run with it from there,
Thank
man.
you. Well, first of all, thank you guys for inviting me. This is
Yeah.
an awesome opportunity.
Yeah.
Hey man, no problem.
I love
Thanks
it,
for
man.
coming. I appreciate it.
And my question was, which is, I don't know how many people think of this, but like how Darren and I were talking about, and Art too, is what happened with communication? Where did text
Good
take place of one-on-one? Where did written words on a phone have meaning now?
Now you
First.
mean like in a romantic sense?
In every sense, because sometimes your best friend is having a bad day and he's just texting you, and being your best friend, you could take that like a joke and laugh, and he's like, screw you, I'm having a bad day. You're
True.
like, whoa, you don't know. And if it's in a romantic sense,
Lost in translation.
exactly.
basically.
Is
Got
that,
it.
to me, the common courtesy of good morning, how are you, good to see you, specifically the word I love you
Yeah.
or I miss you.
But
Sometimes-
hearing it out of the person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now it gets lost, and it just via text, words that have meaning are just meaningless words.
You know, I was just going to say, I think that in today's day and age, text, or shall we say electronic communications, that could be email,
Yes.
text, whatever, it's just easier. And I think it's easier on many different levels. So when you look at the translation, well, one, I would say it's easier to send that quickly, no matter how many words. I mean, you could write a novel in a text, and it's probably still only going to take you, excuse me, 2 seconds to send that, or to write
Exactly,
that,
yeah.
you know. But at the same, so it's easier to send, but I think it's easier to kind of back off of those words as well, because they didn't hear you say them. So to your example, let's say I say something to you, you take it the wrong way. Well, through text message, I could easily say, no, I didn't mean it like that, I didn't mean it like that, when really I did. Whereas you know exactly how I meant it if I say it to your face.
Yes.
You know, and I don't mean that negatively. I just mean, you know, even an empty I love you versus an I love you with me looking at that girl in the eyes, she can, you know, she's going to feel that more. So I think it has taken place of face-to-face communication because it's easier than face-to-face communication.
Is that where relationships are lost? In communication?
I believe like how, towards Art's point of, if I were to tell you something, you took it the wrong way. At least me, I was brought up that first intentions tend to be the ones that you mean the most.
Because I know for myself, it's not a lot of times I take text message serious because I don't know how you coming off.
Exactly.
So I don't want to misinterpret you and me go off and you meant it in a joking way, and here you are, I'm being serious about something.
Yeah.
I think communication is really lost. Again, going back to what both of you said, again, it's just easier for people. But I think people are missing the fact that it's also easier to get what you're really trying to find out in that context of just having that face-to-face conversation. I mean, I was in an instance this past, what did we just winter, where if all we had to do was just had a face-to-face conversation instead of assuming, we'd have been much better off. But again, that's just life. To me, that's just life now, that everybody just wants the easy way out. Fast-paced, the easy way out. They don't want to deal with it. One of my friends just said the other day, man, I can't be on the phone with my dad that long. He just gets in, on, off the phone. And she said that's how a lot of my family is. And I said, well, that's hard for me because I'm a communicative person.
Yeah,
and myself and Art, just knowing, being around him, I can say that being from the Midwest, we're just peoples. Like, we're always in your face. We like communicating. We like that dialogue. We like the content. We like the discussions and the arguments. But the arguments are all out of love, and we gonna hug it out and then be joking later. So when I moved to California and I realized that people really don't talk to people like that, it was extremely hard for me.
How much of this is generational? Because, like you
all
said
of it's
earlier,
generational.
And the reason why I say generational is because I try to keep, or maybe say temper my frustration to the person that I'm talking to, and like what generation they grew up in. Because a lot of, I mean, of course, the little kids, but I'm saying nowadays, like people, they grew up with cell phones. Okay, they grew up with all these social medias, what have you. So for them, I think it is difficult for them to like understand why, say, someone like yourself would be thrown off on why you don't want to talk on the phone, because they didn't grow up that way.
Exactly.
We grew up that way, and so for us, it's like I would rather talk on the phone
That's a very good point.
than text. And so I think it's just adjusting and understanding how people grew up communicating. So
Because nothing irks me more when the only reason I get on my phone because everybody else gets on the phone. But genuinely, I really want to talk and have a conversation.
That is one of the biggest
pet
most
peeves.
annoying things.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I genuinely want to have a conversation, but I'm like, well, fuck it. Ain't nobody else. But when I'm at a round table full of people, like let's just say we go out and have brunch and everybody's on the phone, I'm like, well, what am I here for?
That shit pisses me off.
I need to know, why do you think it is so difficult for people to have face-to-face conversations when that's all that's their only option?
Because you don't want to face reality, and you don't want to face the truth right away.
Going back to, you work at a bar, I've worked in bars. I'm sure you've probably seen many a times where just saying hi, just talking about the weather is probably hard for people. Why do you think that is?
It's multiple things. One, let's say, if you're with your friends and taking out electronics, social media, all that stuff, if you really can't converse with that person, you're not compatible.
True.
You really aren't. It's like you could have an acquaintance, but that's not your real friend.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I mean? If you're with a family member and you're talking, you grew up with that person, so you're comfortable being with that person.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So you think it's a comfort level, kind of.
That, and to me also, the uprising of that person. Because if you were with your parents, let's say verbatim, even though your parents were there all the time, and I know this from actual experience, but your parents never talked to you, that gives you some sort of fear to actually not want to communicate with other people.
That makes sense. I'm sure you've come across some awkward dates.
All the time.
Like you and me and Art laugh all the time when we out. We like, that looked like a very awkward. Like they're both ready to go. So I guess I would. It's no way we can have you here and ask you questions about the bar scene.
Please, it's gonna
Crazy. Like what is like crazy dates you've seen?
So, awkward things that I've seen is a couple goes in and they're just quiet. They eat, they pay, they leave. I'm like, what happened? And the guy is usually the one that brags, oh, this is what happened. No. 70% of the time when this has happened, which it's a handful of times, women are like, you know what? We liked each other before we said anything. We slept with each other. It's our first time. Now we're here eating and it's awkward. We just want to finish eating and go our separate ways. I'm like, just like, it could be that, men tend to be really shy at times. and they shoot their shot really quick, really early, as in, I want to make you my queen and this and that. Like, bro, we just met.
I just feel like bartenders are underpaid
Therapist.
therapists.
Oh my God, yes.
You know, I know we talked off camera about this. Like, I think that chivalry is a thing
Yeah.
that should come back in terms of being more prevalent. I think it is kind of dying, or maybe it's gone. You know, in terms of opening doors.
Yeah.
And, you know, treating people like your queen, or treating you know, people like your king, or what have you. But I do think people, they go 0 to 1,000 really quick.
100 is not
First
even a
day,
number. Yeah,
yeah,
they go
first
to like
day,
1,000. Yeah.
And this is my future wife. How many people need to hear that? I mean, they want to know that you're putting them on a pedestal. That's what they want. I mean, do you see that a lot? Like, you see people that literally only are out because they know that that person will take care of them.
I've seen, in a sense, where they want to hear that they want to be placed on a pedestal because they want to know how that person is going to treat them.
Okay.
In a sense, not just emotionally, but materialistically. Like, I don't need to like this person as long as I have, and believe me, and I'm like sitting up for this one. I don't need to know
Get
this
into
person,
it then.
and I have family members that are like that. I don't like this person. I'll do whatever he wants as long as I have everything that I want. I'm like, excuse me? Like, yeah, materials, I want to have the best of the best. I don't need to have nothing else. Yeah, I'll be physical with him every so often, but I need to have everything that I want. Everything that I know I deserve.
This is totally left from what we're talking about. But I dealt with this when I was in the club scene for quite some time, and I'm sure you deal with it often. But how do you deal with groupies?
So it's weird, like when you said about male and female, I could say even up to now. Of course, I will never disclose no names.
Yeah, I'm never going to say names yet.
We ain't trying to rat nobody out.
Yeah, but I've gotten.
But you know who you are.
Yeah. I've gotten indecent proposals that are like, I'll pay you, let me just watch you with my wife, or I'll pay you, my wife, myself and I, so on and so forth. And to me...
See, I never had that bullshit.
Oh my God.
Jiminy Christmas.
And the groupie scene...
I was thinking if I was going to say yes to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold up,
I ain't
wait
never
a
been
second.
that far, Mario.
I
Okay.
was talking like just get in.
Yeah. I was just talking
I
about
was saying just get into
going
the club,
home with
but
me, you
no,
know? I
yeah,
didn't-
okay.
And the getting into the club too thing and the groupies thing, like when you... Of course, and it goes both ways. Good-looking guys,
Yeah.
very attractive women. Hey Mario, how are you?
Yeah.
Me and my friends.
Yeah.
Can we get some drinks?
Yeah.
Sure. And then once I charge them, they get upset. But
Yeah.
they keep on coming, thinking that they're gonna get something for me, for free. I'm sorry. For me, the best way that I got over that is just
I can move.
I was very front, very, very, very front.
I think you just have to be straight up with groupies. Like, yo, I know what you're doing. Like, I know what you're out to get, and I know what's happened. I've been doing this long enough.
That's exactly it.
And I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not. No.
I think just straight up saying, this isn't going to happen.
Yeah. Like, I don't know you. Like, what's the?
I've gone to. I'll tip you more. It feels like
Yeah.
you can still tip me more, but I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, your heart should be genuine to tip anyway. So what's the difference?
Exactly.
You might be able to get me if you did tip off for real.
So we talked earlier about, maybe some of the awkward dates that you've seen, people barely having conversations, whatever it might be. What's some of the fun? Like, 'cause I know you probably have a million. Like, what's the funniest thing you've seen? Like, on a date or just people coming in? Like,
you know what? I'm that type of honest person that if I hear something that doesn't go,
you gonna say something?
I seriously, I'm like, I pour a shot and I'm like, bro, this is on me.
This is on me.
Rethink what you just said and say it a different way. 'Cause you're gonna make me laugh so hard that I'm probably gonna lose track of what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah.
And the girls just start laughing.
Yeah.
And they get mad at me. I'm like, I'm trying to help
Can you
you out.
think of something that you've heard that made you do that?
All this, like the meme ones. You must have fallen from heaven,
Oh, my
angel,
gosh.
or
The fact that people really use those.
But why do people try and have game? Why not just try and be
It's
like
try
just?
to have
here's
game.
one thing that I
I feel
feel
like you actually, that's a great question because I have none.
I don't have no game. I just know to be genuine.
talk.
That's it.
I
That's it.
don't
That's it.
understand,
That's
like-
basically it. Nowadays, being genuine is actually having game. One of the lines that I've heard a long time ago, and I say it just to play around. I kid you not, and this stuck to my head like a stamp. Your name should be Lucky Charms.
Oh god damn.
Oh
it.
god.
Because you're magically delicious.
Oh god.
When that guy said that, and I was working at a TGI Fridays back in Oxford, I swear I stopped whatever the hell I was
Shout
doing.
out to TGI Fridays.
That-
That
right?
chicken, that
Yeah.
chicken and cheese is amazing.
I can't.
I'm sorry. I like
can't.
food.
I can't,
I'm
Art.
sorry.
I
I'm
can't.
sorry. I like food.
I stopped whatever I was doing. I went to that guy. I shook his hand,
Good move.
and I was like to the girl, "If you don't go home with him, I'm going home with him."
I mean, the fact that he got it out.
Yeah.
Because I would have laughed trying to say it. So,
Golly.
okay, snacks.
What?
Pickup line.
I don't have one.
Anything that you've said that.
All right, I can honestly sit here and say I have never used a pickup line.
No?
I can honestly say I have honestly never used a
Okay,
pickup
fine.
line.
I think the only pickup line I have is hi.
That's it. Before we get out of here, I'm gonna hit you over the head with this question because you just led into it. Have either one of you ever been afraid of commitment? I need to know, have either one of... I'll start for you.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Hell yes.
Now, the follow up that everyone's going to ask is why?
At that particular part of the life, I still wanted to play the field. Two, just genuinely not ready. And not, in a sense, settled in the city where I knew I wasn't going to be
Okay.
ready for.
Do you think that's an actual excuse?
No, I just knew for sure I wasn't, like, I'm
Okay.
not going to do anything. Like, I didn't even take myself to that place.
Yeah.
But with that person, I was like, man, this would be good, but I'm really scared to even try it.
Now, the therapist here are going to dig deeper in that.
Oh, y'all not getting around this question.
Now,
No.
do you
I'll
think
answer
that-
you honestly.
Do you think that if you would have committed to this fictional person that we speak of, that would have changed your outlook on wherever you were at in terms of the city?
No.
Because a lot of people say like, "Oh, I'm not going to be here. This isn't for me."
No.
But if you got married, then this is where you.
I
would
would
be.
still dread being in that city.
But
What
then maybe
about-
they could have moved with you.
Exactly.
That's fine, but I would still dread.
So then
Take the city out. Take
so
the
then
city
the
out.
city really had nothing to do with your commitment to that person.
For
You
me, it
used
did.
but that could have easily changed.
Because I also knew that person wanted to get out that city as well.
Wanted to or didn't want to?
Oh, I'm sorry, didn't want to. I'm sorry.
Okay, so
Didn't
then
want
I
to.
could see the city
Yeah.
playing a part into that. If
Yeah.
they weren't going to listen. Well, I mean, I guess I'll go now because you're going to go last.
Yeah.
What is happening over there?
co- the,
I know you guys
uh,
can't
shots.
see it off camera, but
The
that's probably what it
COVID-19
is.
Probably,
vaccine.
yeah.
Okay. I would say that yes, I have. Gosh, afraid is such a big word, but yes, I have been apprehensive
Yeah, there you go.
of commitment, but I don't think
Big
any
ass words.
of the reasons that you gave have been reasons why. I think it has been more, which is probably universal, of just that reservation that they wouldn't be as committed. The playing the field. I mean, I feel like that's what you do in your 20s.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say since I've turned 30, which I mean was almost a decade ago now.
Even that close.
I'm fine. I'm fine with being a one-woman person.
Well,
You know what I mean?
for-
Like that really hasn't ever been like, okay, well, I don't want to commit because I want to try and have these periods. I've never been that. I mean, I haven't been that way again since I turned 30. I think it's just been more like, okay, for me, if we commit to this, like, are you as committed? Like, and maybe it's more deeply rooted than that, but like, am I enough for you to commit to?
Well,
Like if you want to have kids, or if you already have a child, like, okay, if I commit to you, are you committing to me, or are you trying to,
that's valid.
do the different things?
I'm
Oh,
on the same boat.
Let me backtrack because let me be real. I also, for the longest, never thought I was a relationship type.
Okay.
Because I for the longest would say, what do I need a woman for? Like, what is she gonna do for me that I can't do for myself?
But explain
Well, I don't think
that.
you should have to. No, go ahead. I'm not even gonna say that.
What you
Go
say?
ahead.
Explain that.
Yeah.
What makes you think you're not a relationship type of person? Like that.
Because I felt so good being free, doing what I want. I can travel, go see who I want.
Okay.
I like freedom. Don't try and hold me down.
Now I'm going to shout out Mike Lopez from a previous episode and say that those particular feelings you should always have. You should be able to make yourself happy. So so to say like, oh, I don't need. I'm not obviously getting on to you, but I'm saying like when people say like, oh, what do I need to be in a relationship for? I don't need nobody else to make me happy. You shouldn't need anybody to make you happy.
Love yourself.
You should be
before you love
able
somebody else,
to make yourself happy. If you want to travel, if you want to, do those different things, you shouldn't feel restraint because you're with somebody. If anything, and I would say maybe as I've gotten older, like having someone next to you should enhance those things.
Yeah.
I mean, I know again it's an overused phrase, but I've said it myself. Like, I like to travel. I like to just get in the car and dip.
Yeah, that's
But I will say,
without all the
not all
questions, why didn't you ask me? I just wanted to do this on my
but I
own.
would say not to be all sentimental, but I also go to a lot of places where I'm like, it honestly would be better if someone else was here.
I'm something that Art said is when he said, am I good enough for someone? So to me is,
That's a good question for a lot of people, because a lot of people ask that question. Sorry to interrupt you, but a lot of people ask themselves that question.
it's not the fact that I don't like to be committed. I guess my thing is that I want to be. So in a nutshell, married for a long time.
Okay.
Separated for a while. Certain circumstances happen in my life that it's not that I don't want to be committed. It's, to me, it's more, and everybody should do the same thing like how Art said. In order for you to not be afraid of commitment, you need to learn to love your own skin.
Right.
With every single flaw, from your toe to the last hair on your head. And I, at one point, doubted all of that.
Yeah.
Doubted myself to the fullest.
Yeah.
Which it doesn't happen to me. It happens to every single person in this world. So I learned to tell myself, no, I am good enough for me.
Yeah.
So whoever's going to take me, is not that I'm afraid of commitment.
Yeah.
Is that they need to be compatible to what I have to offer.
Right.
So commitment, I'm not afraid of. I will never be afraid of that.
Yeah.
I'm more afraid.
Oh, this is good.
Time being not well spent.
Yeah.
Because there's two things that in life you don't get. You don't get somebody to love you back if they don't want to. There's multiple things. And you don't get time back.
That's a wrap. Tell everybody where you bartend.
Mamma Mia for the small period of time, and I also work at La Costa. So if you guys want to have a few drinks, I'll take care of you.
Thank you
You
so
have
much.
to pay for them though. Shit.
Mario, thank you, man.
Thank you guys for
We
having me. I
appreciate it,
you
man.
guys.
Hey,
Thank
join
you
us
so
for the
much.
next episode. If I need to know, if you want to be on the show, of course, we told you many times before, you're more than welcome to be on the show. Now that we're in limo art, I feel like everybody's going to try and be on this thing.
This is the best thing that's ever happened.
Cocktails and more with Art, Snacks, and your two favorite uncles, man. Hit us up in the DM for any questions. We'll see you next time.
Thank you guys.